Welcome back to GearWire.com. I'm Owen O'Malley, and this interesting little unit here is called the Hartke Bass Attack, and it falls somewhere between a direct box and a preamp and a stomp box. So between those, I don't know, triangulate those three positions, and that's where the Hartke Bass Attack resides. Primarily, the Bass Attack was designed to provide you with more tonal control over your bass signal. You can see along the top here we've got a bunch of controls that let you shape your tone more so than most amps would let you, and certainly more so than most bass's onboard electronics would afford. So let's take a look at what controls are on the Bass Attack. The first thing you'll notice here is something called harmonics control, and that is basically dialing in a tube-like gain to your tone. So here's our unaffected signal here, and here is our affected signal. Pretty similar right now. You can see we've got most of the toned controls right in the middle. We've got a mix right here, a wet-dry mix. We've got that 100% affected right now, or all the way over to effect. So let's listen to how harmonics changes the tone. Here we're starting to break up a little bit. Now if we crank harmonics all the way, we'll definitely get some fuzz. So you can hear how you can use this pedal really as a stomp box. But of course it does a lot more than that. So let's bring our harmonics back down to 5 right in the middle here. And let's move on to the EQ controls. We've got bass, treble, and bright. Let's switch over to fingerstyle. Bass control adds just a ton of low end to your signal. Now let's move on to the treble control here. Now we've got the tone on this American Standard P bass opened up all the way, and this is how bright it is. Let's crank up the treble here. You can hear a lot more pick attack in there. That back down. And now finally we've got something called bright, which is sort of like an ultra high-end presence. So if that doesn't cut through a mix, then you gotta tell your guitarist to turn down. You also get an overall level control here. And finally, we've got something called shape control. The shape is the same VXL tone shaping circuit that's found on a lot of Hartke amplifiers. Same circuit, just kind of ported into the Bass Attack DI box. So let's engage the shape and hear how that changes the tone. Now let's sweep it across the frequency spectrum to hear what that sounds like. You can hear it's sort of like a notch filter with a set cue. And it's really good for toggling between, let's say, a fingerstyle tone and a slap tone. Let's take a look at the connections and controls on the side here. You can see we've got two outputs over here. We've got a direct output, that's what's feeding our interface right now, and there's also an unbalanced line output. We do have a pre or post button, so you can send to the house either the same signal as being affected by all these controls up here, or your bypass signal. Your front of house mixer might request that you send a bypass signal. And then we've got ground lift here. Now on the other side, our parallel output is what's feeding our amp, and our input is well, where our bass attack is getting our bass input from. Now this line output and parallel output can be used in a slightly different way when you're in a recording context and you're using this just as a DI and foregoing an amp. So let's set that up right now. Okay, so apparently it doesn't actually work like that. Apparently I have an older version of the manual that shows the elusive page 9 with the effects loop schematic, but that's not real. It doesn't really do that. No worries, the Hartke Bass Attack is still a very versatile preamp and DI box for both stage and studio use, and at only $100, it's a very affordable way of expanding your tonal palette, and it's made in this pretty rugged housing. The bypass switches feel really good, the connections feel really good, and the knobs are shiny. What more do you want? Hartke Bass Attack. You've been watching GearWire.com. I'm Owen O'Malley. Thanks for checking us out.